Looks like we're going to start out Saturday with a risk of some severe thunderstorms across a pretty large portion of the South. Most of Alabama, most of Georgia, northwest Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi. As a cold front comes in, we will all face at least a chance of some scattered thunderstorms. It could be marginally severe. This is a level 1 on the 5-point scale from the Storm Prediction Center. An isolated storm here and there that could have wind gusts over 60 and hail up to the size of quarters or larger. Most of them are going to fall in below that. So what about the timeline for Alabama on Saturday? I don't think it rains all day for sure, but in the Tennessee Valley, Hamilton from Coleman, from Gadsden, northward to Huntsville, Decatur, Florence, over to Fort Payne, Guntersville, Scottsboro. Strong wind gusts, quarter-size hail, heavy downpours, 6 a.m. to noon. Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Centerville, Clanton, all the way down to the north side of Montgomery. These could start as early as 10, but I think it's probably on the later end of this time scale, maybe a bit closer to, say, 4 p.m. before places like Rockford or Clanton or even Sylacauga get some of the heavier storms. And then farther south, 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock south of Montgomery, going down toward the Alabama Gulf Coast. Here's the latest guidance from the HRRR model, the HRRR. We come in pretty hot in the morning with some scattered thunderstorms over northwest Alabama, Huntsville, Madison, Decatur, Athens, Florence, down toward Minot, Red Bay, Russellville, Double Springs. So northwestern Alabama gets this first. Then it starts to move toward the east, and we're going to start building up some very warm, humid, unstable air, especially over here in West Alabama. And remember, we've got that risk of a few severe thunderstorms too. So you've got strong storms developing and moving into air that is very, very ripe for thunderstorm production. So much so that by 4 and 5 p.m., if you look in this area in particular, around Anniston and Sylacauga, these could be some pretty potent thunderstorms with hail and wind that goes over 60 miles per hour. On through about 7 p.m., we start losing some of that instability, especially toward the northwest of Birmingham, where the front has already passed. So by 7 p.m., it's certainly over for Huntsville, Florence, Coleman, Hamilton. We still could have a few showers left over, even as late as 7 or 8, right in the Birmingham metro area, and then everything starts to move on toward the southeast. So here's the picture going through the next several days. These numbers specific to central Alabama. I think it's warm and humid on Saturday, highs in the lower 80s around Birmingham. A little cooler to the north, Coleman to Huntsville, mid-70s. Birmingham west, Tuscaloosa, Greensboro, Demopolis, Montgomery, in the mid to upper 80s. And that's really going to help to fuel those thunderstorms that build on south through the afternoon. Sunday, I think we can draw a line from around I-20 southward. It's dry to the north of that line, and it's a little bit wetter to the south with some isolated showers and storms. On Monday, we get another interesting weather situation developing that could bring some on-again, off-again showers to north and central Alabama in particular, and it all starts with an upper air disturbance that begins to drift slowly in from Mississippi. And it also depends on which of the forecast modeling you prefer to believe. If this disturbance is in the position that the American GFS model projects, then what we end up with is an influx of moisture coming just like that toward East Alabama, Birmingham, and then up toward Huntsville. How far north it gets, still a little bit questionable. But throughout the day on Monday and into Tuesday, we're left with this disturbance sitting right over top of us, churning up some occasional scattered showers and thunderstorms just all over the place. Once it's gone, I think the rest of next week starts to look a little drier. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, highs will be in the 80s, overnight lows in the 60s. And although I can't completely get rid of the showers, I do think the chance of thunderstorms is much lower starting next Wednesday.